May I present to you the most insufferable people in the world, the Democrats in Congress who are, yes, you see them here, actually holding a candlelight vigil for January 6th. A candlelight vigil for what? Who died? The only person I recall was someone from our side, and I don't think that they're crying over Ashley Babbitt. Welcome back to Sara Gonzales Unfiltered. We will get into the J6 Vigil, the day democracy died, here in a little bit. But we've got a big announcement. We are launching a second YouTube channel. It's going to feature, all of the content from our show, but in more shareable clips. We get asked all the time. I really want to share this particular segment with my friends, with my family. How can I do that? And so we just wanted to make it a little bit more easy for you to do that, a little bit more accessible for you. And then on top of that, if, for some reason you're short on time, which I would say you should always prioritize Sara Gonzales Unfiltered as part of your day. But if you just don't have the time, you want to find quick segments, you can go ahead and do that. And we'll be posting some additional content over there on that channel too. We've got some really, really exciting specials coming in the future. We'll have more announcements on that at a later date, but make sure to go over there. Please help support us. You know how much YouTube screws with this channel. And so we're trying to get that page up and running quick. So if you would just do me the favor, it would really help me out personally, from me to you. It would really help me out if you just quickly go on over to youtube.com/@Sara Gonzales Texas, spelled out Sara Gonzales Texas, as you can see there at the bottom. And make sure to subscribe. And we have a link down in the description of this video in YouTube to help you get there and subscribe. Don't unsubscribe to this show. Just make sure you're subscribed to both so you don't miss a thing. So with that being said, there was breaking news out of Minnesota today where there was yet another attack on ICE agents just doing their jobs, which actually led to an ICE-involved shooting. So ICE officers in Minneapolis were conducting targeted operations, according to this is a Homeland Security account, conducting targeted operations when rioters began blocking ICE officers. One of these violent rioters weaponized her vehicle, attempting to run over our law enforcement officers in an attempt to kill them, an act of domestic terrorism. An ICE officer, fearing for his life, the lives of his fellow law enforcement, and for the safety of the public, fired defensive shots. Yeah, duh, what else is he supposed to do? They said he used his training and saved his own life and that of his fellow officers. The alleged perpetrator was hit and is deceased. The ICE officers who were hurt are expected to make full recoveries. This is the direct consequence of constant attacks and demonization of our officers by sanctuary politicians who fuel and encourage rampant assaults on our law enforcement who are facing 1,300% increase, a 1,300% increase in assaults against them, and an 8,000% increase in death threats. 8,000% increase in death threats. But you tell me who the real bad guys are. The people who are just out there trying to maintain law and order and keep our streets safe and get illegal criminals out of our country, or the people who are literally trying to kill them. Now, you could say, okay, well, you have this tweet, but how do we know that that's actually what happened? Well, we have video of it. So let's see if the video matches up with what Homeland Security just said happened, because what I see is an ICE agent is directly in front of the car when she tries to run him over. And he, of course, what the hell else is he supposed to do? Opens fire. Watch. So watch this black SUV.
No! No! Shame! Shame! Oh my What the What the
I don't know why.
What the did you do?
Why? What did you do? What the F did you do? I don't know. Shot someone who was trying to run me over? Shot someone who, I don't understand. If you are evading the law, if you are trying to come after me, if you are threatening my life, I'm 100% going to defend myself. I don't understand they're always shocked. They're always shocked that their actions have consequences. They're always shocked, like, what? He was coming at you with a knife. Why did you shoot him? Like, I don't understand what the confusion is. And so you have all of these, we'll call them FAFO moments, happening all across the country where these people think that something else is going to happen if you try to run over ICE agents. And even though you have this happening, and even though you have an 8,000% increase in death threats and a 1,300% increase in actual violence committed against them, you still have the Democrats in Minnesota specifically complaining about ICE, including retard Tim Walz. Here's this, he's posting the video of ICE going down the steps. Just literally just apprehended someone. They're peacefully taking him out. So imagine the drama in saying ridiculous. Nobody is fooled into thinking this buffoonery is a reasonable use of taxpayer dollars. It should not take 50 ICE agents to arrest one guy in a library. Well, here's the thing, Timmy. Here's the thing. Number one, well, you guys are actually attacking the ICE agents, so I don't know. It stands to reason that maybe they should bring more than one person. Maybe they need to travel in packs because you violent leftists are always after them. First of all, okay? And on top of that, let's talk about a waste of taxpayer dollars. Let's talk about what is a reasonable use of taxpayer dollars and what is an unreasonable use of taxpayer dollars, Tampon Tim. You know what is a waste of taxpayer dollars? I would say all the Somalian fraud happening in your state. In your state. And by the way, as much as we've seen, it turns out the Somalian fraud in the state of Minnesota is way worse than we thought it was. And we've already covered this. We already knew it was really, really bad. It's actually worse than that. Yeah. So I don't know, maybe you guys have missed it. So in case you have missed it, I want to just quickly catch you up. So this story has actually, honestly, been trickling out for years about how Somalians are carrying out widespread fraud. It's interesting because I just saw an article that Kamala Harris's campaign is now being asked questions because they're like, this story about the Tim Walz, the fraud in Minnesota has been going around for years. It was actually before he got reelected last that this story was out there. So who vetted this guy and who thought it was a good idea to have him as a VP candidate? That's how long this has been going on. And now even Democrats are like, I don't know how he got past the vetting process because this particular scandal, if anyone looked into it, should have taken him out already. So we are talking about a years-long fraudulent scam where these Somalians are taking billions of taxpayer dollars through Medicaid fraud, through fake daycares, through feeding the family or whatever they want to call it. There are all of these programs and they're using that money to enrich themselves or, in some cases, send the money back to terror groups, which is, I can't even express what an embarrassment that is for America to just bring these people here so that they can screw us over and send our money to terror groups who will then try to use that money to harm us. I mean, that's a humiliation ritual, okay? But all of this kind of came to a head when, we talked about this a couple days ago. Nick Shirley released his video exposing just how many of these fake daycares could be stealing millions of taxpayer dollars. Here's a little bit of that.
From this daycare center, we headed over to the infamous Quality Learning Center, which actually spells Quality Leering Center on the outside of their sign.
That's great.
That's how blatant this fraud is.
That's here. How you know you're getting a good
So this is
center.
Quality Leering Center. I meant to say Quality Learning Center.
Don't open up!
They said they spelled learning wrong.
Don't open up!
Of course you have.
How do you have ice here, ma'am? I'm literally a YouTuber.
Don't open up!
Ma'am, what do you think about the fraud that's taking place here in Minnesota?
Don't open up! We have ice!
And what do you think about this place being licensed for 99 children
Don't open up!
and getting $4 million
Don't
over
open
the
up! It's ice!
$4 million in the last 2 years?
Go away!
What do you think about that?
I love that so much. This is how dumb they are. Nick Shirley's dressed in a gray hoodie sweatshirt, and she's like, "It's ice! It's ice!" Like, ma'am, he doesn't look at all like ice. What are you talking about? Ice doesn't go around with like iPhones and gray hooded. Look at that. It's like, what? You're so retarded. Your first thought is like, oh, approaching quality leering center must be ice. That's so classic white liberal Karen. But Nick Shirley's investigation led to Tim Walz just dropping out of the gubernatorial race in Minnesota. That's how big of a deal it was, because you have Tim Walz's fingerprints all over his administration is vetting who is receiving these funds. And it actually, I mentioned it gets worse. Well, here's how, because apparently people, they knew about it. They chose to cover it up further because a new audit finds state workers mismanaging money and fabricating documents to cover their tracks. The audit actually showed the Behavioral Health Administration sent millions of dollars out to whomever without checking who was receiving the money. Now, as that happens, you would think, oh, well, surely, like, I don't know, you would have a manager who would discover it and then cut it off, just to stop it, correct the error. We're talking about we're talking about their money when it comes down to it, right? Like, if you live in Minnesota, it's your money. And also, most of these states, it's like federal money as well. So it's everyone's money. Everyone should care. Everyone should have a vested interest to stop it. But no, actually, managers did discover it, and they just simply tried to cover their tracks by backdating and creating new documents to cover up the tracks of the old documents. Let me give you an example here. This is how egregious this is. This is why, guys, I will never back down from the argument that taxation is theft. It's so, what motivation, what incentive do governments have to be mindful of your money when they can just do whatever the hell they want with it? They control the programs, they control the allocation of the funds, they control the vetting, they control all of it, and they can just use it on bullshit and then just make you give them more. Like, it's so egregious. So the auditors found a grantee that was paid $672,000 for 1 month of work. Sign me up for that gig, by the way, with no information on what they actually do. Let me just tell you, if anyone wants to pay me $672,000 for 1 month of work with no information on what I'm actually doing, y'all will never see me on this show again. Okay, like, wow, that's a lot of money for absolutely no checking and vetting to make sure that they're doing something to earn that $672,000 a month, which is already absurd. Okay. Then the grant manager who paid this absurd amount of money, actually left Tim Walz's Department of Human Services a couple days later, and you're going to be shocked to hear where that person went. They became a paid consultant for that company. Wow. What? I'm so shocked to hear that these government employees are corrupt. I'm so shocked to hear gosh, I wonder if that was all planned to just waste your taxpayer dollars and then just go do it to enrich yourself. Wow, that's so, that must be the first time that that's ever happened in this country or the state of Minnesota. Wow, I'm so shocked. Now, President Trump, because there's a lot of this that happens since President Trump got back in office that I realize is very frustrating for a lot of us, because it's like, okay, we're uncovering, like, take Doge for an example. We're uncovering all of this fraud, absurd amounts of fraud they were uncovering. What are you going to do about it? How are you going to eliminate it? What are we doing? We found the thing. We found the crime. What are we doing about it? So President Trump said, here are additional actions, the rapid response team, here are additional actions announced this week with more to come. The Justice Department is surging additional prosecutors to the state of Minnesota, doubling the amount of attorneys working on fraud cases. The Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services announced a full audit of Minnesota's Medicaid billing receipts and will claw back fraudulent claims from future funding. Boy, I got news for the state of Minnesota. You guys are screwed for a really long time if they are going to have to claw back and draw from future funding. Y'all are, that's going to be years probably. HHS cut off an additional $10 billion in federal funding from 5 Democrat-run states ripe with fraud, including Minnesota. DHS is deploying an additional 2,000 law enforcement agents to the Twin Cities to assist with law and immigration enforcement. Now, obviously, again, the administration is taking this seriously, which is great. I mean, it's so effing frustrating. See? I did it, guys. I did it. I censored myself. It is so frustrating that we're hearing that's an absurd amount of money and nothing ever gets done. Well, it looks like things are getting done. And they're actually on Capitol Hill today. They had a hearing about this. And, you know, I think rightfully so. There are a lot of lawmakers who are getting very frustrated, just like us, that this has been covered up for so long. Here is Tom Emmer at some of that hearing.
And where the hell has the Twin Cities media been? The Star Tribune is complicit. They have had this story for years, if you just heard, and they've refused to report anything on it. In fact, they continue to try and cover up. Our Minnesota Republican colleagues have demanded answers and accountability for years, but have seen nothing from Walz, his administration, our Democrat colleagues like Tina Smith, Amy Klobuchar, Ilhan Omar, and Angie Craig, or the worthless Star Tribune. Thank God for President Donald J. Trump for finally bringing attention to this issue.
I want to know. I want names. I want names of everyone who's been involved in this, who knew about it and turned the other way, who have been enriching themselves with this money. I want to know, Ilhan. I want to know why you know all of these people who are being convicted of fraud schemes, all of these Somalians who are being convicted of fraud schemes. I want to know why you seem to be besties with all of them. I want to know why Tim Walz seems to have all of this happening under his watch, and you expect me to believe he didn't know about it? I don't know. He just dropped out. What does that tell you? I want to know who all is involved in this. I want to know Keith Ellison, the Attorney General of Minnesota. I want to know how much you know. I want to know how much you know, because Fox News has just uncovered some old audio of good old Keith Ellison, non-corrupt Keith Ellison, holding the Antifa handbook. I want to know how much he knew, since now we have old audio from 2021 of him meeting with Somalians who were, by the way, you're going to be shocked to hear this, later convicted in a massive fraud scheme. And this audio is them asking him to help get more funding, because if he doesn't, they're going to withhold their votes.
The only way we can protect what we have is by inserting ourselves into the political arena, putting our votes where it needs to be, but most importantly, putting our dollars in the right place and supporting candidates that will fight to protect our interests.
That's right.
You can only protect our interests when we have your back, and you don't have to worry about who's behind you.
Gosh, I wonder what they were talking about. I mean, they got convicted of fraud later. I wonder what they're talking about. By the way, Keith Ellison, same guy who says he has done enough to stop the estimated, $9 billion from being stolen.
Not that fraud is not a problem. Of course it is a problem. Mm-hmm. And of course we have to prosecute it. And of course we have been prosecuting it. But
have you done enough, General, to do so? I mean, one of the claims is that there has been hundreds of millions of dollars, but now there are some estimates that there could be $9 billion or more. And Knowles was just suggesting they took hundreds of people off the street who were involved in fraud. Are you confident your office has done enough?
Of course, we've done enough, and we're doing more every single day. This is a political matter. This is not a serious thing.
Keith Ellison is like, listen, it could have been 10 billion. Like, you're welcome. It's only 9 billion. Yep. It could have been way worse than 9 billion. Of course we've done enough. I mean, if you're a Democrat, really, if you're a black Democrat and you've lost the random black chick on CNN late night, like, you guys may be screwed. So I want names. I want to know, Keith Ellison, what you know. I want to know what Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey knows. Look at him. Look, oh my God, you are such an embarrassment. He is grooving to the Somalian music, waving the Somalian flag. He is decked out in the Somalian flag, which remember, they've changed the flags over in Minnesota to be more like the Somalian flag or flags. They have like a bunch of different, I don't know, regions. I don't care to know. So I want to know what Jacob Frey knows. I want to know. I mean, he has learned the Somalian language. Like he's speaking their language. He's waving their flags. He's wearing them on his shirt. I want to know, because it seems pretty curious that he beat out, they had a literal Somali pirate who was running against him in the last mayoral race. And he beat him out. So I want to know why the I'm the captain now guy didn't beat him with such a large Somalian community. I mean, we just heard those Somali fraudsters on that undercover audio say, we are going to back whoever can get us more funding. We're going to withhold our votes, and you need our votes because we've come over and we've like conquered this particular area. I just want to know. I want to know why Jacob Frey is sticking his neck out for Somalians while ICE comes to deport the illegal ones. I want to know why he's doing this.
This is not about solving crime. This is not about preventing fraud. This is about sowing chaos on the streets of Minneapolis, and that's what they are intent on doing right now. I mean, if the goal was to stop crime, we have mechanisms to do so. We've worked in the past substantially with the U.S. Attorney's Office, and by the way, driven down crime substantially. What they are doing is an intent to terrorize people in our city and specifically target our immigrant neighbors. And we're standing rock solid with them.
That is so crazy that he's talking about bringing down crime when I literally what about the $9 billion in fraud? And that's the conservative estimate. That's not not that crime. Sorry, not that crime. Not that crime. Also, not the crime of just being illegal and being here. They're just our immigrant neighbors, right? Now, the icing on the cake for all of this is Tim Walz's own daughter, who I do find to be very insufferable. Even Tim Walz's own daughter is, I don't know if it was an accident, I don't know if it was a slip of the tongue, but even she was forced to admit that there is enough truth to this whole Somalian fraud. You remember, her dad was like, this is a crazy far right-wing conspiracy crackpot nut job theory. There's no truth to this, but I don't want to be a distraction, so I'm going to leave. And even his daughter is like, yeah, there's probably enough truth to that.
But it's like, it's not about him. It's about he's the other side for a big group of Americans, yes. I feel like.
Yes, and I think he was popular during the campaign last fall. Yep. And he's still in office, and he was running again. And so it's just kind of an easy thing for them to pick up on. Mm-hmm. And I think there's enough truth to the fraud things that they were able to twist it and amplify it.
Oh, they just twisted it. Is it true or did they twist it? By the way, they just twist and amplify it. Well, so there is enough truth to the fraud thing. It's just that it's actually like their fault because they amplified the truth, right? And she goes on. I mean, this is how gross these people are. She goes on to blame not Tim Walz, not his administration, not the managers who were like creating new documents to cover their tracks, no one who actually did something wrong here, not the Somalians, no one who actually did something wrong. No, she actually says it's Nick Shirley's fault for going to Minnesota and exposing this because he has some ethical responsibility to not, expose fraud.
But I definitely think people see somebody and they're like, oh, this person's, I see myself in them. And so I'm going to believe them. And that is what people definitely see in me. Mm-hmm. I think then that's like an ethical thing on his end. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, you can't just go and do this to people. I don't know.
Yeah, but
in communities.
You know what is so crazy about the left? Like they say so much while saying nothing. Like what does that mean? You just said there was enough truth there. And then you said he has an ethical duty to not tell the truth because people listen to him. You're not allowed to tell the truth on a community because people listen to you. Like, what are you actually saying, ma'am? I think because when people, like they see me and they like listen and believe me, what? They saw where he was going, and they saw that it was, I don't know, a little fishy that the Leering Center, who wasn't open and didn't have any kids there, and all of these other Somalian places where they didn't speak English and they were really squirrely and they didn't want to let you in and there seemed to be no kids anywhere in sight. It's just boggles the mind. Also, by the way, if you want to talk about ethics, or punishing people. Nick Shirley is actually the one who has threats on his life, for real.
You're just seeing how evil people are for wanting to come and kill me for talking about fraud.
How do you protect yourself and make sure that you're safe?
Yeah, now it sucks because now I have to have security. Like, I never expected to have to go film a video and have 4 security people inside of a car watching around or walking into to the corner to make sure that no threat comes. Because in Minnesota, I go and film part 2, and a Somalian man, stops in the middle of the intersection, stops his car in the middle of a red light, in the middle of the intersection, hops out and just comes and literally tries to come and attack me.
And what happened?
Luckily, security was there to stop him. But if he wasn't...
You have that footage?
Yes.
Whoa.
His hoodie
and
is
so luckily,
funny.
like now I just can't go and do stuff because especially with... I pissed off
Leering Center
a pretty bad group of people to piss off, the Somali population. Because if you piss off one Somali, you're pissing off the whole entire community.
Golly, I am so shocked to hear that someone from a third world shithole would come here and just not know how to solve things without violence. I am so shocked that all the Somalian pirates that are coming here like don't know how to solve things other than threatening to kill you. Wow, that's so shocking. I mean, I posted a video trying their shitty food and they were sending me death threats. So maybe they shouldn't be here. Maybe they should just go back. If they want to keep their third world values, they can go back to their third world shithole. I don't know. That sounds reasonable. You let me know what you think in the comments and subscribe to, of course, Sara Gonzales Unfiltered, the channel you are watching right this moment. Hit the like button and, do all the things, okay? And then comment and tell me that you did all the things. I think is that what Super Gear says? I think so. Let me know that in the comments too, okay? Tell me whatever you want to know, all right? I want to thank our sponsor, Cove Pure. Before we get into the rest of the show, here's the thing. Everyone jumps into the new year. They're like, oh, we're going to do all the things. We're going to buy new supplements. We're going to try a new diet. We're going to do new workouts. But they completely ignore the most important basic thing, which is water. It's actually water. You need the water to live. Even mild dehydration impacts energy. It impacts focus, metabolism. And when you think about all the garbage that's in our water, by the way, if you haven't thought about that, you should. Because Cove Pure is going to change that immediately. They have clear wave technology. It's certified to remove up to 99.9% of contaminants. By the way, guys, if you know me, you know that I am very particular about my water. I need the PFAs out. I need the microplastics out. I need all the pharmaceutical residue. I need the fluoride out. All of it gets removed. This is the purest water that you can get. And also, it lets you choose the temperature of your water. If you like hot, cold, warm, whatever it is, you just press that button. And when I used Cove Pure to make tea for the first time, I was shocked at how it heats your water instantly. It's really, really cool. It's very easy. It's a countertop machine. So you just plug it in, fill it up with tap water, and you're good to go. And your water is pure. I would not be telling you this if I did not believe in this. I am very picky about my water, okay? So improve your health with clean water. Right now, you can get $200 off for a limited time if you use my link, covepure.com/Sarah. That is COVEPURE.com/Sarah. Now, something that I've been talking about for a while when it comes to the Somali fraud issue, it's like bringing in a bunch of Somalians to take our money and send it back to terror groups is like, that's kind of only one part of the issue. The other part of the issue that we've been, again, trying to talk about, trying to warn about for a while now is that they're literally telling us that they want to take over this country with Islam. The Islamification of this country is a very real thing. And we already see that happening in Minnesota. I don't even know. During the break, I was like, should we just like implode Minnesota? Is it too far gone? Should we just like cut our losses? By the way, for those of you who live in Minnesota, it's just a joke. I like you. It's just a joke. I mean, you probably should leave Minnesota because I don't think you're going to save it. Okay. But it's like, how many times can these people say? They're saying all the quiet parts out loud. They're just saying it. I mean, in their religion, they can actually lie. They are allowed to lie in order to conceal their actual true intents of their religion so that they can further their religion. Like, that's actually a doctrine for them. But they're not even doing that anymore. They're not even lying to conceal it. They're just telling us out loud. So I'm just going to tell you, don't take my word for it. Just take theirs.
Islam's coming to America? Yeah, it's coming. Wait, is this going to be one day America will become a Muslim state, a Muslim country. Really? Tell Trump. That's never going to happen. Yes, it will happen. That's never going to happen. God is powerful. It's never going to happen. God is powerful. Is that what everybody here wants? You want to see that's what we are. Our goal is to make America Islam. Really? Islamic state. You said that America is going to be an Islamic place. It will be one day. Here's my question. Yes. The goal. The promise of Allah. Here's my question. Do all the other Somalis here feel the same way? We believe that the believers will overcome the wicked ones. I am from Somalia.
Pick up
and Trump
the
said
Quran.
Somalia is garbage. It's not garbage, it's gold.
Then go back. I don't understand what it is with these people. If I live in a country that I'm like, it's gold, I'm never leaving. Go back. Just go home and take your shitty food with you. What is it with these people? You know what? I do know what it is with these people. It's the incest. It's the inbreeding. It's the light bulb head people. They don't have very high IQs. That's what it is. That must be what it is. And so we're just allowing this suicidal empathy to just like, we're just like, oh, it's fine. We'll just keep bringing them in. It's fine. It's totally fine. No, actually, you're xenophobic. If you don't like it, you're xenophobic. If you're just like reading, you're like seeing what's in the Quran and the Hadith, and you're like, they kind of want to come to conquer. They say it all. They're very clear about that. They actually hate us. They think the Western world is, what did that guy call us? Wicked? They think we're all wicked, and the entire point is to come here, bring enough of them here, outpopulate us, and then conquer us. This is all very, it's an open secret, I guess you could call it, because it's not a secret. No, that's racist. You can't say that. That's racist. You're a Nazi. You're a Nazi if you don't want to embrace the foo-foo, whatever the food was. I don't know. They were fighting about, all the Africans were fighting about whose crappy food it was that I tried. So I don't even remember what it was actually called. It was not foo-foo. It's like, you're supposed to just embrace, no, diversity is our strength. No, actually, they want to change America to Islamic law. Like, you think that, we have separation of, church and state and, religion and all of this. No. That's not what they want. They actually want, this is an entire way of life for them. Sharia law is all that they think that we should live by. And boy, let me tell you all the things that would change in your life if we were run by Sharia law. They're saying it out loud. This is such weak energy to just be like, not allowed to criticize that, not allowed to go into their communities and uncover fraud. They want to destroy this country from the inside. And instead of being able to talk about that, instead of saying, hey, we may disagree on things like taxes or, I don't know, maybe larger things like whether or not you can mutilate your children's healthy body parts. But can we all agree that we don't want to live under Sharia law? Can we agree that actually don't think gay people should be thrown off of buildings for being gay? Like, can we just all agree that, like, maybe women shouldn't be stoned to death because, like, she upsets her husband? Like, can we just all agree on that? No, actually we can't, because Democrats, like Debbie Wasserman Schultz, I'm about to show you, Democrats actually are here to tell you that the biggest threat to America, it's not radical Islam. Actually, it's Donald Trump.
Donald Trump is a threat to our democracy. And I certainly think that Islamic fundamentalism is a threat generally. But if you're asking me what the biggest threat right now that Americans are facing,
you see it as Donald Trump.
Yeah, because he has single-handedly begun to dismantle our democracy.
Go back to the very top.
He is ignoring the Constitution. He is ignoring
It's just
congressional.
not working. It didn't work for Harris and Walz in 2024. Didn't work for Clinton in 2016. It doesn't work.
But it's going to work now. It's going to work now. We're just going to do it harder. Mean Orange Man bad. Mean Donald Trump bad. It's going to work now. We're just going to do it harder. We're going to go harder for Orange Man bad. And now it will work. Like, I just, how do you reason with people like that? How do you reason with people like that on this issue? I don't know how you do, other than to just continue defeating them at the ballot box and make their voices so minimal that it just doesn't even matter what they think. I don't know how else you reason with these people who can say things like that and look themselves in the mirror and think that they're serious people. All right, we got to thank our sponsor, Patriot Mobile. So I love Glenn and Jenny's story over at Patriot Mobile. If you guys are watching, I love you guys. They're some of my favorite people, very good friends of mine. And the great thing about Patriot Mobile is it's when you switch to Patriot Mobile, it's not just a wireless provider. Okay, they're actually very proud to say that they're an activist organization funded by selling top-tier cell phone service. So they've been on the front lines defending our freedoms long before all these other companies popped up, okay? There were a lot of companies, they did it when a lot of companies were like, ooh, we're scared to say we're conservative. They were like, you know what? We're going to wear it like a badge of honor, and we're going to give you prioritized premium service on all three major U.S. networks. By the way, you're going to get the same or even better coverage, backed by 100% US-based customer support. So we're going to give you that service, and we're also going to help contribute to Christian conservative causes. I see them at every single event that I go to. They are investing in these conservative events. They are investing in races to flip, school boards conservative. They really are putting their money where their mouth is. Please, please, please take a stand today. Just go to patriotmobile.com/Sarah and just check and see how much they can save you. Okay. It's patriotmobile.com/Sarah. You can use code Sarah for a free month of service. That is patriotmobile.com/Sarah. Oh, my biggest fan, Jasmine Crockett. You guys, it's a little known fact. She's a huge fan of mine. She loves me. And so, she's running for Senate here in Texas, where she will fail miserably. And she's making the rounds because she's running for U.S. Senate. And so she made an appearance on everyone's favorite daytime talk show, The View. And they asked her, pretty reasonable question. Why do you think, why are you willing to go all in on a Senate race in Texas? I think people forget this. I mean, they say, well, she's already a representative. Yeah, she's a representative in a district that was made for her. You're talking about the entire state of Texas gets to vote in this race. You think that a Democrat would win? Okay, I would argue that you're wrong, but this isn't just a Democrat. This is a very controversial, dumb Democrat would win. That's a reasonable question to ask. And apparently she just, I don't know, she's like, because I'm black, I guess.
We are also a majority minority state. So for everybody that's like, well, she running for Senate and she black. Yes, I am. I am. Mm-hmm. And
5 million black voters.
Actually, 4.
Right? 4 million black voters.
We have more African Americans in the state of Texas than any other state.
Okay. Like, oh, okay. Could you, I think like there's some nuance maybe to what you're saying. Okay. First of all, you're black. Really? That's the first time I've ever heard you tell me that you're black, Jasmine. I never would have known that you were black, except for all the times that you've just led with the fact that you're a black woman. Other than literally every time you speak, I would have never known that you were black. So thank you for cluing me into that. It seems to be your only identification in your entire life is that you're an independent black woman who don't need no man. So, okay, 4 million. Cool. Well, I don't know. Let's just add a little bit of context to that. President Trump won Texas in 2024. This was like unprecedented since 2012. 56-42. That's the largest gap since 2012. It was a difference of 1.5 million votes, I believe. Okay. So, yes, the overwhelming majority of black people voted for Harris, but they only made up 11% of the total vote. So, like, okay, cool. There are more black people who live in Texas than anywhere else. They're not voting. And I don't know, I guess she's just like, I'm going to get black voter enthusiasm up so high that they're going to like skip to the ballot box. That math ain't mathin' to me, which kind of tracks with the fact that Jasmine is refusing to release her poll numbers.
Listen, what I did is I evaluated the numbers. The numbers are clear that we can win. Let's just stop with like what we think. I want to be clear that a lot of people haven't put their numbers up, and I haven't put mine up for a good reason, because I'm playing for keeps. But let me tell you that I know how to evaluate and I know how to win races. So I will say that, and I will also say that the front runner in this race was Colin Allred, someone that I served with. After I got my numbers, I did call him as well as the other person in this race. I told them that I would share my numbers with them privately. I did not get asked for those numbers. He decided to step aside because he felt like what mattered was getting the best person across the finish line.
Or if I might, ma'am, Miss Hoodrat, sorry, fake Hoodrat, if I may, or Republicans just tricked you and astroturfed you, and tried, like, this was actually a thing that they did to try to push you into a Senate run. They like ran these polls suggesting that she would win. We've gone over this, but I think that it's worth mentioning again. And she, like, they literally, it was a whole AstroTurf manipulated thing to urge Democrats to call her office and be like, you should run for Senate, because they wanted her to do so, because they knew that she would be the easiest person to beat, because there's no world in which a Trump Crockett voter exists. And Trump won Texas by the largest margin since 2012. It's just like that. It's just basic math. But you might think that was the dumbest part of her interview. It actually wasn't. She actually needed to add her 2 cents about Venezuela. And I don't know. It feels a little bit like it's giving like dictator love vibes. I don't know. Tell me what you think.
I get that there are people that don't like the leader, but guess what? There are a lot of people that don't like our leader. And
you just won.
Regardless, somebody coming into the United States and grabbing our leader in the middle of the night and killing people in this country, I'm sure everybody would be outraged at them doing it that way.
Wait, so we're supposed to be outraged that the evil dictator communist, who, by the way, let's be clear, was not the legitimate president of Venezuela. He kept himself installed and used his military force to literally run down people in the streets who protested that. So, like, we're supposed to feel bad that poor little evil commie dictator was dragged to the United States to face trial. Because that's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing that Jasmine is trying to compare, like, well, yeah, but I mean, President Trump is just as bad. And actually, let me tell you why it's wrong of him to do that to that poor, evil, mean dictator. Actually, it's kind of perfect because that's actually what Democrats want to be. That they actually are evil communists who do want to get in power and become authoritarian dictators. That is actually their goal. So it's kind of perfect that Jasmine Crockett is seemingly a Maduro apologist now. All right. Just real quick, make sure if you have not subscribed yet to Blaze TV, you can go to blazetv.com/Sarah. Use promo code Sarah and it'll save you like $20. So blazetv.com/Sarah. We'll be right back. Well, we would be remiss if we didn't just circle on back, as Jen Psaki used to say, to the 5-year anniversary of the day democracy died in the darkness, in despair, I don't know, I was going with the D's. The day democracy, January 6th. Oh, so much life was lost. It was the greatest terror event in the history of our country on domestic soil, worse than 9/11, worse than anything really, worse than the Civil War, worse than the World War, which is worse than everything, January 6th, which is why the Democrats held a candlelight vigil. Oh, look at them. Solemn, many of them wearing black, just to commemorate the dark day. The dark day in memoriam of everyone who was lost. Yes, except like these... We're really supposed to take these people serious. We're really supposed to take these people serious. Like guys, come on. We all know that they don't care at all about the lives that were lost because they actually laughed in our faces about Ashley Babbitt. Ashley Babbitt died. There's video of it. And they just laugh about it. They continue to laugh about it. They think it's hilarious and they think that she deserved it, but they're going to stand there with their candles. Now, I genuinely don't know what the vigil was for. Like, I actually don't know. What did they say the vigil was for? To commemorate. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't want to understand it. We still clearly have a democracy, so we're good. By the way, we're better than ever, honestly. Like, we've never been better. So I don't know why you guys are crying, but in epic fashion, JD Vance decided to return the sombrero meme. And so now they can hold the candlelight vigil, but you're all wearing sombreros, okay? You're all going to wear the sombreros. You can enjoy your candlelight vigil, but you're going to get embarrassed and trolled over it. I mean, this is the state of the Democrats in Congress. This is the state. Everything's good. And they're like, actually, we're going to hold a candlelight vigil over, we're not quite sure because we don't have brains, but we're going to hold the candlelight vigil. You guys, keep up the energy. Please keep up the energy. I want to roll into the midterms with candlelight vigils and trying to, simp for illegal gang members. Do all the things. Please. We'll see you tomorrow.